Hi everybody! For today's assignment, we're going to be working on creating a starburst design by connecting the dots that we make and then putting color in all the different sections. So these are the materials you will need. Okay, you need a piece of typing paper. Printer paper would be fine. You really must work within a square for this. So there's a little trick for making a square out of a rectangle piece. I've shown you on many others assignments, but we'll go through it again. If you lay your paper down and you pick up a corner at the top, it doesn't matter which corner you take, but bring the corner all the way down to here so that the edge lines up. Don't fold it. You see how I want this to be even here? This is even. Don't fold it. And just take a regular pencil and draw a line where the paper ends. Can you see that line? That's where you cut it. And this will leave you with a square. It works with all sorts of papers that are a rectangle. Of course, if you have a square to begin with, that makes it even easier. But here we are with our square. Now you'll also need to have a regular pencil. You'll need to have something to connect the dots, so you'll need a ruler. And to put the color inside, you can use thin markers. You can use the Crayola markers because they have a point. I prefer color pencils. The ones I showed you were made with color pencils. So let's begin. We have our square paper. Somewhere on this paper, I want you to make 2 dots, but make them a little bigger because we're going to have big dots and little dots. So 2 dots. I go over them a little just so you could see them. 1, and maybe I'll make the other one. Let's see. Here. Okay. After you've done that, make 10 smaller dots all around. Remember, they need to be smaller so you could see the difference between the bigger ones and the smaller one. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, I have the 2 bigger ones and 10 smaller ones all around. I'm trying to use the space on my paper. Now here's what you're going to do. You are going to draw 2 lines from each little dot. One line goes straight to one big dot, and the other line goes straight to the other big dot. This is where you need your ruler. Remember, hold your ruler. Here's the little dot, and I'm going to the big one. My ruler is going to make a line from the little dot to the big one, and then go back to that little one. And this one's going to that big dot. Hold the ruler still. Let's pick a different dot now. Here's a dot here, a little dot. This is going to go from the small dot to the big dot, small dot to the big dot. I'll put my pencil there so I don't forget. Small dot to the big dot, small dot to the big dot. Whoop, I made a little mistake, so I can erase it and fix my line. Here I go. It's good to have erasers. Here's another small dot. This one goes to the big dot and then to the other big dot. You can turn your paper, if that helps you. Small dot to the big dot. Small dot to the big dot. Here's another small dot. Turn my paper. Small dot to the big dot. Small dot to the big dot. Small dot to the big dot. Here's another little dot. Small dot to the big dot. Small dot to the big dot. And each time you do it, you're going to get some very interesting starburst shapes. Everybody's will look different. Small dot to the big dot. Here's another small dot to the big dot, small dot to the big dot, small dot to the big dot. Get right on there. Small dot to the big dot. Here is, I have 3 more small dots. Small dot to the big dot, 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 small dot to the big dot. Here's another one. Small dot to the big dot, small dot to the big dot. Get your ruler right on those dots. Small dot to the big dot, small dot to the big dot. And I have one more here. Small dot to the big dot, small dot to the big dot. Got to get my ruler right on there. Small dot to the big dot and small dot to the big dot. Sometimes you end up with very tiny spaces, but that's okay. That's just the way drawing worked out, your starburst. Here we are. So now I have all my little sections, and now it's time to go inside to put the color in. And as I said, I like color pencils because you can get in those very tiny little spots. You can't do that with crayons, boys and girls. So you gotta be able to get right into those little corners. And as I always say, when you're working with crayons or color pencils, you want to be resting on something that's a little bit padded, like a magazine. I have a bunch of papers here. It makes your colors feel better when you're putting them down, and they also look better. And of course, you can repeat a color. If I can repeat this color somewhere else. That's your choice of the colors that you would like. You want to press harder because you want a good, rich, solid color inside all of these shapes. And you can just go on to put whatever colors you would like into each one of those shapes. You have to be careful so that you see when it becomes a new shape because your lines crossed over each other. And I'm pressing a little bit harder so I can get a good solid color right to the points. That's important. Get right to the points. There we go. And you can use as many colors as you would like, boys and girls. You don't have to use the colors that I'm using here. And you keep working at it until you have finished all of your sections in there. Big sections, some of them are very, very little, like that one, until you have finished. Now you see this one's very different. They're all different. Here's one that was done a long time ago on a very large paper. This is quite big, but they come out terrific, and you never quite know how your starburst is going to look. So work on it, boys and girls, and I hope you enjoy doing this. And until next time, bye.